I got this email and I wanted to ask you about it. It said several of us had developed an intense dislike for one of our teachers of a required course. I had made a stink about it, and the animosity seemed mutual between me and the teacher. One day, 6 of us spent the last 5 minutes of class imagining we were beaming positive pink energy at this teacher. At the end of the class, I was shocked beyond words when the teacher walked up to my desk with a smile, put her hand on my shoulder, and said something nice to me. What happens when you do that, when with this pink light, or you imagine you send love to somebody else? What metaphysically happens?
You activate a vibration of connection within yourself, which causes the object of your attention to have the same vibration activated within them. In other words, whatever you hold as your object of attention is vibrating, but everything is that two-ended stick that we were talking about. So every person that you look at has things within them that you would like as you see them, and things within them that you would not like as you see them. And the way you feel about them is not so much about what they've got activated. It's about what you've got activated, which is causing you to rendezvous with that aspect of them. So as these people got together and agreed about their criticism, they got it activated pretty good, and we imagine got more and more of it for a while. And then they reached a point of sort of critical mass where they were clearly getting further and further away from who they are and knew it. It's a wonderful thing that they had that kind of awareness going on. And then they visualized, now clearly their idea of the pink light was love and appreciation. And so as they deliberately focused there, because of the power of their desire and their willingness to do it, and even their collective willingness to do it, they managed to activate within themselves something very different that had been activated before. And we imagine the feeling of relief was palpable. And as they activated the different vibration within them, they rendezvoused with a different characteristic in that person. We would like you to understand that every person on the planet has the potential of thrilling you beyond description and causing you despair beyond description. It just depends on what part of them is most active in you.
Okay. So how does that differ than creating somebody else's experience? Because it sounds like you're almost you're influencing that other person.
You are influencing it, but there's a difference between influencing it and creating it. Now, let's say that teacher had really had her feelings hurt, or was having a real strong struggle about something else, and had a very dominant negative vibration going on. So these people focused the pink light and made themselves feel entirely different and changed their ability to perceive. But the teacher was still so wrapped up in what was going wrong that it did not actually cause any great shift. So then the only benefit would have been that those projecting the thought felt better. Because 99% of every creation is complete before you see any physical evidence of it. We would say that in most cases, you do not see a turnaround quite that quickly. This person was clearly teetering right on the edge of this. And there are a lot of people like that. All of you are sort of teetering on the edge. When you really, really want something, the absence of it is really, really bothering you. And so most people have the ability to have your influence, and you're being influenced by those around you. Jerry has said for a number of years that if you don't have goals of your own, you become part of others' goals. And we say, if you're not deliberately offering your vibration, then law of attraction is matching you up with whatever vibration is dominant within you. Now let's talk about this, because we've not discussed this in this way before. This is a powerful leading edge question that will take us into a place that we have not been as clearly before. So we're talking to you about the mix of vibrations within you, and we're acknowledging that you can be focused here in your body, in your now reality, and offering a vibration where your inner being and who you really are is over here offering a different vibration relative to this subject, and how you feel indicates your alignment with that. But you're not the only one with the only scale out here vibrating. Everybody around you has got their own scale and their own vibrational mix. You're really a sort of mixed bag of vibrations. So let's say something's happening globally. It's in the news, it's in the airways, it's on television, it's activated in a lot of people. So there's a stronger than usual vibration about something that's gone right or something that's gone wrong. Usually if it's on television, it's something that's gone wrong, because they have learned that it's easier to motivate you to watch them if you're worried about something than if you're joyful. If you're joyful, you're out in the yard playing ball. If you're worried, you hunker down and watch for news about. So the vibration, let's say a strong stream or current in mass consciousness, is one of worry. Well, you can tell by the way you feel as an individual whether that worry is in alignment with who you are or not. And we have to say to you, it's not in alignment with anyone. So when some event happens and a lot of people are watching a lot of television and watching a lot of catastrophe and reading about it and beating the drum of it and putting music behind it and so on, what happens is larger numbers of people get separated is too strong a word, but it's not a bad picture, separated from who they really are. So you're sort of hanging out there on that raw and ragged edge just a little bit. Well, under those conditions, if someone were to be having a negative experience around you and you were to be near them, law of attraction would make you more of a part of their negative experience than it would have been if you hadn't let this global event activate something within you. In other words, the more things are happening globally, the more it is of value for you to focus more specifically, because the potential of being influenced by whatever's happening in large numbers around you is a very real potential. You see, it's why people who really want to feel good often sort of hole up and don't get around others until they reestablish their stability. So you can't get inside of another and offer the vibration, but you can offer a vibration so powerfully that when they observe it, if there's any inkling of that vibration within them, it may activate it within them. And almost everyone has the capacity or potential of being activated into ecstasy or activated into agony, because you've all had enough experience that there is enough vibrational memory within you. That's why it really serves you to focus specifically. Jerry and Esther watched a little bit of the television program The Amazing Race. And there were several families that were all different in personalities and different in their interpersonal dynamics. And some of them were just bubbly and positive and nice to each other and complimentary to each other. And others of them were just sarcastic and caustic and rude to one another. As Esther watched one family, she said, if that was my son, I would have drowned him when he was really little. In other words, nobody should behave like that. It was shocking to listen to the way this teenager was addressing his mother and his father. But as the television program unfolded and more of them found themselves not where they wanted to be in relationship with the goal or the game, more of them got out on that raw and ragged edge. And Esther began to notice that the bright, shiny, happy, always positive family was frowning and scowling and arguing and bickering and not being as nice to each other. And she thought, well, the other family didn't change that much. They were mean to each other when they started. They were ornery. They just say what they feel, and what they feel is out there. And the other family was making an effort to feel better, but when the circumstances changed, almost no one was able to maintain their good feeling. The conditions in almost every case controlled how people felt. And that really is what our message is about. We want you to be out here on this leading edge and be so convinced in your ability and in your desire to feel good that you become impervious to what's happening around you, so that you are only influenced by this powerful beam of light that is calling you to who you really are, you see. And there's a big difference between feeling the calling to who you really are and trying to push away from the evil or the things that you do not want. And once you play with this just a little bit, you begin to feel that. Talk about a power of influence. Talk about a signal of influence. Talk about a stream of well-being that is sucking you in a powerful direction toward well-being. It takes so much more effort to stand in resistance to that than it does to just give in and go with it, you see. Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
So this emotional guidance scale is exactly the same scale as the distance between who you really are, which is a being of ecstasy, a being of joy and appreciation and love and abundance of all things that you consider to be good, and wherever you are on this sliding scale. Now, you could be all the way up here in vibrational alignment with who you really are, which means you'd feel wonderful, which means you're perceiving your personal freedom and power right now. Or you could be all the way to the other end of the scale, which feels horrible. It feels like despair. It feels like grief. It feels like fear. It feels like utter disempowerment. But we want you to understand, and we believe that you will never again be unaware of this, that every emotion that you feel is your indication of your vibrational relativity to who you really are. And unless you feel fabulous, you are not allowing yourself to be as you really are. We want so much for you to understand that you came into this physical body as an extension of source energy, intending to continue to expand. And so your exposure to your life experience is causing that very expansion of source. The question again is, are you staying up to speed with your own expansion? And the way you feel is your indication of whether you are or not. We want to say to you in a way that you can't possibly miss it. We want so much for you to get this because it is essential to your feeling of your fulfillment of your life's purpose. Your life is going to cause you to expand. And the source part of you has taken that expansion. And if you don't follow suit, if you don't get up to speed with your day-to-day dialogue and day-to-day conversation and day-to-day perspective of your day-to-day self, if you don't get up to speed with who you have become, you cannot be the joyful being that you really are. You cannot give birth to a new desire and stay apart from it and be joyful. And you can't not give birth to new desires. In other words, you can't have exposure to an experience without this movement that source follows immediately and then hold yourself apart from it. You can't do it and ever experience joy. Vibrational relativity is about you knowing who you've really become and your relationship to your allowing yourself to be it here and now. Make sense? At many levels of your being, it does. The only thing that is required for anybody to move from wherever they are to anywhere they want to be is a willingness to release resistance, which is to say, to move in the direction of their desire. And in the same way of saying it, a willingness to reach for thoughts that give them some sensation of relief. So, when you get it, that all you're reaching for is a thought that gives you a little bit of relief, then you have retaught yourself. You've reacquainted yourself. You've come back into vibrational memory of the guidance system that you were born with. The guidance system that says, we are you, and we've been with you in every experience that you've lived, and we know who you have become because of the experience. And we're here now, fully realizing every dream, hope, and wish that you have activated. We're here offering a signal that if you will listen, we'll call you specifically, precisely, in the direction of what you're asking for. And if you care how you feel and move toward what feels best, no matter where you currently are on the emotional scale, you got to get there. There's no possibility of failure. There is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. There are no incurable illnesses. There is nothing that you cannot achieve. If your life experience has caused you to want it, this environment has the resources to deliver it to you, but you've got to find vibrational alignment with your desire. You cannot keep beating the drum of where you are. Good. We have nothing more to give you. That is the entire summation of the way the universe works, of your placement in it, of your relationship to us, of our placement in it, of the vibrational relativity between our placement in it and your placement in it, and your awareness in any moment of time of where you are in relationship to the evolving you that you are.